Well, good morning, everybody. How are you out there today? It is a great day in the neighborhood, and I think this mic may be just a little bit on the hot side. As you can tell, I'm not coming to you from the studio at the house this morning. This morning when Carol left to go to work at 5:45, I headed on over here to the church and began doing some work, and figured I'd just do Manna in the morning from here this morning, and let you see a little bit of the behind the scenes. This is part of it that you never see. This is our control room, and let me switch over to the other view, and there you go. And this is what it looks like behind the scenes while Carol is back here switching the running audio and switching the video at the same time. And of course our streaming program up on the monitor there, and it's pretty exciting little thing to do. It's a lot of fun. And anyway, you notice I'm using a wireless mic. I want you to understand how we do things at this ministry. Okay. The equipment that you see right here, this audio console is identical to one that was given to us just a few months ago. This one I purchased for, it came out of a church that was rebuilding their audio system, and we got it for like $250. That is a $2,000 audio console. It is a 32 track by 8 track. This video switcher, $7,000 switcher, I purchased at a Ham Fest from a fella for $50. He didn't know what it was, didn't know how to use it. I knew what it was. Purchased it for $50. This wireless mic set that I'm using, which is 2 wireless mics, and it is a professional wireless system. Picked it up at a resale place that sells stuff that comes from Amazon and other places like that. Got it for $50. It's I looked as soon as I got to the house, it was a $700 wireless system. So and if you look, when you saw the monitors over here behind me, all these black and white monitors, we pulled out of the dumpster at TBN here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. They were going to be going to the dumpster. They said we could have them if we want them. Guess what? A lot of the wiring in this building also came out of that dumpster. So did the little switcher right here. It was in the dumpster. The monitor that I don't guess you can see it from this shot, but it's behind me here, and the waveform vector scope came out of there as well. The amount of equipment that we've acquired for little of nothing, and also, yeah, you can see it in that shot. This is the equipment that was being thrown away. These are the CCUs, and that came with 3 of the Sony cameras, just like the ones we had at 34 in Beaumont, Texas, that we purchased for $900, shipping and everything. 3 of them all together. You know, those are $35,000 cameras. They still have lots of life left in them. I said all this to say this: the big monitors that you see up on the wall here, there's 3 of them. I purchased them at Goodwill for $35 a piece. Okay, those are Sony, so those are $200, at least $200 television sets. I say all that to say this: when we spend money in this ministry, we spend it frugally. I'm going to make use of every penny I possibly can. I'm going to scrimp every cent I possibly can, because it's not money that's coming. It may come out of my pocket. Okay. It may come out of my checking account. It may be charged to my credit card and me have to pay it off, but it's money that's being spent for the work of the Lord. And I'm not going to waste money. I'm just not going to do it. I never have, and I never will, because I have to be responsible for that. And I said all that this morning because I want you to understand where I come from in the ministry. During the digital transition, there were a lot of, and I may say some things today that will offend a few people. And if they do, then please forgive me. During the digital transition, there were a lot of the major Christian television stations that literally they picked up perfectly good transmitters that were analog transmitters that were being replaced by brand new multi-million-dollar digital transmitters. they picked them up with a forklift and dropped them in a dumpster. That's right. Those transmitters could have been shipped overseas and used in other parts of the world. But for some reason, millions of dollars worth of transmitters, television transmitters, were dropped into a dumpster. And that is a fact. As I just showed you, some of this equipment that we have here literally came out of a dumpster at WELF TV here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, the local TBN affiliate. We also have huge volumes of wire, and there's other equipment that we were given that way. I'm going to take every piece of equipment that God puts in my hands and use it to see souls saved and lives changed. When it has no life left in it, when we can't squeeze another minute's worth of life out of it, when I can't repair it anymore, when the others that do repair work with me cannot repair it anymore. And those of you that know me know I'm a broadcast engineer. I have been for many, many years, and kept radio and television stations on the air, rebuilt stations all over the country. When we can't keep it operating anymore and it has to be replaced, we're going to pray and ask the Lord to send us more equipment that somebody else doesn't want. And the reason why is because there's so much waste out there in the ministry and in the world that we have an opportunity to use that. And rather than stuff go to a dumpster, we have a 32-channel audio console sitting back in the back room here that came to us from a local electronics, a local scrap dealer who deals with commercial scrap. It came out of a local television station here in Chattanooga, the Fox News station, when that station was acquired by another one. And it was sitting in his warehouse. And he walked out there and he said, "Can you use that?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Take it." And it was so heavy, I couldn't pick it up. So he had his guy with a forklift stick it in the back of my truck. I believe that we have a responsibility to use wisdom in what money we spend, and to use common sense in utilizing whatever tools the Lord puts in our hands for the propagation of the gospel. And that's what it's all about, is to see souls saved and lives changed. That's what this ministry is all about. On Sunday mornings, when you hear me talk about Carol back in the control room, she's running not only the audio, but she's also running the video, and she's also running 2 computers. And let me switch cameras over here again. These 2 computers are some that I bought a batch of them from a guy who was going out of business, who had purchased a whole pallet full of reconditioned computers, refurbished computers. And I bought these for $25 a piece. These are Lenovo's. They're very good computers running up-to-date Windows software, and that's what we use here at the church. She's running all of this, so if you see some blurps or some mishaps on the program, please just consider the fact that she's doing all of this, one person, because on Sunday mornings we have 4 people here: me, Carol, Larry, and Nancy. And we're doing all we can to preach the gospel. Why am I talking about these things today? Because I felt it important that you see a behind the scenes look at this ministry. Folks, this piece of equipment right here, when it was new, this piece of equipment cost over $25,000. It was in a dumpster, but not anymore. It's still being used for the glory of the kingdom of God. When you invest your gifts into this ministry, we're going to do everything we can to stretch that dollar out to make it reach the maximum number of people. This computer right here is our television automation system from when we owned TV 54 in Jasper, Texas, before we lost a license due to being forced off the air by AT&T and the FCC selling our frequency to AT&T for Wi-Fi. And there was no place for us to go. There was no place for us to relocate to another channel. This cost several thousands of dollars. It's going to be reused here shortly. This is what will be feeding our continuous television feed on the internet here in a couple of months. We're working on that right now too. So see, while I'm not able to do a lot of physical manual labor, I'm doing a lot behind the scenes. You see these nice chairs that we have here? These nice control room chairs? Bought those for $10 a piece at Goodwill. Nothing wrong with them, except they got a little wear and tear on them. They've got a lot of life left in them. I'm probably beleaguering the point. But when the Lord puts things in your hands to do, when the Lord gives you a job to do, he will put things in your hands to be able to do that job. And whether it's to a printer so that you can print tracts, or a room full of fancy electronic equipment so that you can do great and mighty things through the spreading of the gospel through the internet and through broadcast television and radio. Whatever God calls you to do, he will get you the tools to be able to do it. I've seen it too many times in my 53 years, almost 53 years in the ministry. This building was a good example of it. We're still working on this building. You can't see that wall over there. It's drywall and the floating and taping's been done, but it's not been painted yet. I could go out here in the hallway and show you the construction work that we've done there. I'm going to switch upstairs for just a moment. Let you see. That's a shot of the auditorium. I've been working up there, and you can see the floor is filthy dirty. Working on cleaning it up enough to where that one camera that's up there, and maybe the camera that's sitting over here beside me, our second shot, so that we can begin to not only use that upstairs to shoot music videos, such as the ones of my sister, and hopefully some others that will come and let us share their music ministry on these programs as well. But also so that I can go back into the pulpit preaching. It's fun to sit and talk, but it's a whole lot more fun to preach the gospel. And you know what? We can do that. The Lord's putting the tools and has put the tools in our hands for us to be able to do what God has called us to do. And we're going to do it. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep pressing on as long as the Lord gives us the strength to do that. Why? Because that's what's in our heart to do. When the Lord puts something in your spirit to do something, when the call of God is that alive on you, there's nothing going to stop you. You're not going to be stopped because of the finances. You're not going to be stopped because of the circumstances in your life. You're not going to be stopped because of who says, well, I don't think you ought to. Or somebody else who says, well, I don't think you're that good a teacher or a preacher. I don't care. I don't think you're that good a singer. I don't care. If the Lord puts it in your heart to do it, you work at it. You follow that calling. And you step out and you do what God is putting in your heart. That's what this Manna in the Morning program is all about, is to share with people that God's doing something in your life, and he'll do something through you if you'll let him. Back in 1993, I did a seminar. Here's the 2 DVD set, Cults, the Occult, and False Religion. I'm working on, and we'll be working tomorrow since it's going to be snow and icy, and won't be able to get over here to the church. Working on the book that goes with this, the workbook that goes with this, so we can offer this 2 DVD and book together as a package to those who want to help support this ministry and who want to purchase those products. The same as with my books, preparing to make war, and the others. I can do it easier this way. My book, Preparing to Make War, which is a book on spiritual warfare that I published in 1994. It costs $10, $5 shipping. Buy 2 copies. $25 to buy you 2 copies. Give one to a friend. Give one to your spouse. Or my book, my first novel, of Friends and Family, which is $15. My second novel, Finding Rhonda, which is $10. Or my third novel, Ashes in the Rose Garden, which is $15. Or you can purchase all 4 of these books for $50, $60, $50 plus $10 shipping. And we'll get them right out to you. When you do that, do you realize what you're doing? You're helping to support this ministry. You're helping to support this ministry. You're helping to encourage us to continue to do what we're doing. Within the next few weeks, we have a number of projects that we're working on. And while trying to also finish the construction on the building. I have a brother who's going to be coming and helping us. He's a contractor, a one-man contractor. He's going to be helping us to do some of the repair work that I'm no longer able to do. But I'm going to need to pay him because this is what he does for a living. And I've not asked him to do it for free. But he's going to be helping us. He's going to be doing, helping with a lot of the construction work that needs to be done. Slowly but surely, we're going to get this job done. But you know what? The Lord's going to provide every step of the way. And he'll either provide it through providing finances for me, or he'll provide it by providing finances through the ministry. One way or the other, we're going to make it happen. The cost of building materials has gone up. That's not going to stop us. I'm discouraged by it, but it's not going to stop us because I'm planning to make a trip to Chattanooga. There's 2 companies up there that deal in metal roofing. One of them advertises on TV very heavily. And you know what? I'm just crazy enough to go up there and walk in the man's office and say, "Hi, I'm Rick Tallent. I have a little church down in LaFayette, Georgia that desperately needs a roof. And we don't have enough money to put a roof on the church building. Would you consider donating the metal or discounting it? Seriously, discounting it so that we can get a roof put on our church building." What's the worst the guy can tell me? No. He can chase me off his property. He can tell me no, or he can tell me yes. I think it was Jesus who made the comment, "You have not because you ask not." Well, I'm going to ask, because to put a metal roof on this building is the best thing that we can do. And we have some of the money. We sold a radio transmitter a few weeks ago for another $1,000. It was given to us by Educational Media Foundation when they replaced the transmitter at one of their new stations. We were able to sell it for $1,000 to a guy that deals in parts for those very transmitters. And that money went immediately into the church savings account, designated. We have designated funds that were sent, about $1,700 that were sent, designated for the roof. That money is sitting in the church savings account for that very thing. I'm going to continue as long as the Lord gives me the strength to do anything. I'm going to continue to minister the gospel. And what I'm doing right now literally is setting up this ministry in such a way that we can reach out and we can be every day, we can be preaching the gospel, not just through Manna in the morning, not just through the Sunday program, but through other programs. I mean, right out there, you see that sign? You see that? That's something else that we acquired. When I was the general manager with TBN in Beaumont, Texas, the educational station, KITU, there was a gentleman came to our studio one day and he had carved that Jesus emblem, the front part of it, the part that's gold. He had carved it out of some old barn wood. This elderly gentleman in his 70s, he wanted to give it to the station, and he did. And I accepted it, and we put it up on the wall. And I was told to take it down, so I did. So I painted it. It was fragile because that old barn wood, and you can see where I've had to glue it back together 3 or 4 times. So I cut out a piece of plywood to mount it on. And that hung on the stage and then later hung in the front lobby until I left that station. Then I received a phone call from the new manager who said, do you want this? I said, why? He said, they said to get rid of it. Okay. So I stopped by the station and picked it up. And it has proudly been displayed in my ministry ever since for the last 20 years. Folks, that emblem means a lot to me because it was something that somebody carved with their own hands that they did for Jesus. They didn't do it for money. They did it for Jesus. And as long as I'm around, that logo will be somewhere on the set. It'll be somewhere where it can be prominently seen because it means something to me and it means something to Jesus. The little things that you do mean just as much as the big things. They have little boxes mounted on posts at various places around the city of LaFayette and in some of the surrounding towns. And they call them blessing boxes. And what you do is you go by and you drop off some groceries into these boxes. They're about the size of 2 milk crates. Got a little glass door on the front of them. Pretty little boxes setting up on 4x4 posts. You go by and drop off some groceries in them. And if somebody has a need, they stop by and they can pick up those groceries. A blessing box. That may sound like a small thing to drop by there and drop off a couple of bags of beans or some bags of beans and rice or some canned goods. But for someone that's hungry, that's important. That's worth $1,000 to someone who needs groceries. And you know, that's something that we can do. But those little things that we do, what we think about is little things. They're big in the eyes of God because it's obedience to the call of God. It's obedience to his calling. It's obedience to the call of God that helps us to be able to reach out to other people. And that, my friend, is what it's all about. It's not about us. Oh, in a way it is. It's about us learning how to walk like Jesus did. And until you give of yourself, until you've given of yourself, you don't understand. Until you've prayed for someone that's lost and they receive Jesus, you don't understand. Until you've prayed for someone that's sick and seen them healed, see them get up out of a bed, or see a drunkard delivered from alcohol or a druggie delivered from drugs. Until you've seen that, till you've experienced that, you don't quite comprehend it. But once you've experienced it, then everything about your life will change because you can't go back to the way you were before. And that's one reason why I wanted to do the program from here today. I could have run back over to the church and to the house and done this. It's only 2 miles. But I want you to see the behind the scenes. I want you to share with you that we're working hard in this ministry to do what God's called us to do. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to push and keep pushing and keep pushing. 1 Thessalonians 5:12 says this. It says, we urge you, brother, to recognize those who labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake. Let the work that we're doing, let the ministry that we're doing speak for itself. Let the word of God speak for itself. As we go about our day today, I'm going to be preparing for some bad weather around here. because it's supposed to get down into the 20s tonight and snow overnight. Yes, snow. And tomorrow's supposed to be a real nasty day. It's supposed to stay down in the 20s. So I need to make sure that the pipes won't freeze here. Make sure the pipes won't freeze at the house. Make sure I've done everything I can to secure the properties. But in the meantime, there's a lot of work that I can do here. And there's a lot that you can do where you are. As we conclude this program today, I just want to encourage you. Don't be intimidated by what you don't have to work with. Because the Lord will put the tools in your hands. He will put the tools in your hands to do what you need to do if you'll do it. If you'll do it. If you want to order my DVDs or my CDs, we have a number of CDs and DVDs. You don't have to worry about how long it's going to take us to manufacture them. You know why? Because I found a brand new 1 to 10 CD, DVD burner that looks like a big high tower computer at a place that sells stuff up in this neck of the woods called Bargain Hunt. And I bought it for so little money. It was like buying these computers here. So little money. And it's sitting there ready to go, ready to duplicate all the CDs and DVDs that we need to duplicate. Why? So we can get the word out, so you can be blessed, and also so that you can share them with others. Well, our time's just about come and gone. Continue to pray for Debbie. She's still in the hospital. Continue to pray for Tammy. Continue to pray for Leanne and Leslie as they deal with day-to-day issues. Continue to pray for Jeff. Continue to pray for all these people that we mentioned. And as you pray for them, pray for this ministry as well. Because I know that the Lord has great things in store for us. And I know that it's not over yet. He has me here for a reason. And we're going to finish what he's called us to do and sent us forth to do. If you want help, the address is at the bottom of the screen. If you want to order our books, CDs or tapes or DVDs, the address is at the bottom of the screen. Contact us. And until next time, this is Rick Tallent saying, go with God, because he has already gone before you and prepared the way, and it doesn't matter what happens. The Lord has got your backside. He's covering you, and he'll always be right there by your side. Now go be a blessing today and bless someone and be blessed. Amen. Amen.